situation with Mike Evans, what happened there and the loss of him. Joel said, I would say we were fortunate to have Mike in our organization. Not many organizations and franchises get the pleasure of watching a Hall of Famer player for that long on one team. But at the end of the day, each player gets to make their own choice, and that's for him and his family. And for Mike, he felt like this was the right for him, right decision for him, and we wish him nothing but the best. He's a great Buccaneer. He will always be a great Buccaneer. We're obviously sorry to see him go, but respect what was best for him. They asked too, are there any regrets that maybe instead of a 2-year deal that his last contract should have been there 3 years, or you could have franchised him or figured it out? It's a big deal. He's a franchise legend. He said, no, you can't look back and woulda, coulda, shoulda, this and that. And the end of the day, after 12 years and everything Mike's done for us, ultimately you want Mike to do what's best for him because he gave us his all for all those years. And he's not the first great player to leave a franchise and move on to another franchise. He won't be the last. That's the National Football League. He's entitled to have a new experience in his life. People do it in all walks of life, and for him and his family, we wish him nothing but the best. Takeaways from those right there, gentlemen, because as we know, Caleb, he looks like Austin Veazey on our FSU show when we talk about Mike Norvell. Thoughts on this stuff here regarding Mike Evans.
What did you do to try and keep him? Other than throw money, what did you do? Nothing. Mm-hmm. You did nothing to try and keep him. Like you gave him no assurances. Again, we're back to the complacency talk. It's complacent. You didn't do anything. You drafted Emeka Egbuka, cool, but that was opposite of what you probably should have done if you wanted to keep Mike, right? I get that you were gearing up for him to leave, but if you wanted to keep him, why are you drafting a wide receiver in the first round?
And that's always been an interesting thing there. Was there no communication between Mike and the Bucs last year before they went and drafted Emeka Egbuka? Was he just signed a 3-year deal with the 49ers. He's not done anytime soon.
Don't you think you want to have a conversation with your future Hall of Fame wide receiver who's still on your team about, hey, maybe, we're thinking about this. I understand you don't want too much player, voice in the thing, but I think if you're going to say, Mike's earned this, Mike's earned the opportunity to check out other options, then hasn't he earned the right to have a voice in the decision-making process of what the roster looks like and who you're drafting? I think so, right? So I think it's just, you're going in circles if you're the Glazers. You're not doing anything to better the team. You're not doing anything to make sure that this is heading in the right direction. And you're not doing anything to put your best players' minds at ease when it comes to the direction of your franchise. And it's very clear. It's just so infuriating, right? You didn't do what needed to be done to be able to keep him. And that's just what it is ultimately. And instead of taking responsibility for those things, you're trying to brush it off as we can't look at things in hindsight 2020. Yes, you absolutely can. Why can't you look and look back at what you didn't do to make sure this didn't happen or occur? And it's just going back to the same thing. What are you doing? As an ownership group, I guess, what are you doing?
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, so let's make some picks for this upcoming weekend, why don't we? So we're going to be in the NBA along with down here in Tampa in the NHL. We'll get to that in just a minute, but let's start off with the NBA. I've got LaMelo Ball going less than 19.5 points there. He's on a trend of that, so I'm going to keep riding that wave. Then we're going to go over to Jaylen Brown. I actually trimmed him a little bit down to 24.5, but I think he absolutely nails 25 points in this game for the Boston Celtics. And then, like I said, NHL, Nikita Kucherov down here in Tampa. I've got him with minutes played in the game at 20.5. I think he absolutely goes over that on Saturday night here in Tampa. If you guys want to, new users, if you play $5, you get $50 in lineups. To download the app, use code HMA, and link is in the description down below for you guys.
Because I know your dad would not be very thrilled with what's happening right now. I know Malcolm is rolling over in his grave. There's no way that he's not. And it's, I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way, and that's completely fine. But I'm over it. We're past that point, right? I got to move on myself. It's just one of those things that really irks my nerves. It's you didn't do anything to make sure that he didn't leave. Instead, you're here's as much money as you possibly want. Here's a blank check. maybe that's going to solve your issues, finances, because monetary value is what really matters. No, get the F out of here, dude. Like, get out of here.
Well, that's one way to put it. I think, like I mentioned before on this podcast,
now that he's moved up to Boston, man, he's starting to turn into Boston. I love it.
It's probably not
starting to trickle in a little bit. I love it.
It's probably not an awful thing that the Bucs aren't tied up in Mike Evans' money at his age at this point. But like we mentioned before as well, if it was just about being outpriced, I think that would be one thing. But clearly, it was not just about being outpriced. The Bucs gave Evans a competitive offer, and he simply decided he did not want to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers anymore. And that comes down to a number of different things, I think. Competitiveness, wanting to win, not thinking the Bucs can do that. His thoughts on head coach, we don't really know. We don't really know where his mind is at, but clearly the sum of it is that he doesn't think the Buccaneers can win and compete for championships. So
I agree with him.
And that's yeah. I mean, it's hard not to at this point, given what we know about the roster, given what we know about the coaching, given what we know about everything else. But that's a general statement that can be sent up a lot of different ways, but that's what it is. And if that's what Mike Evans wants to do, all fair for him. But, yeah, I mean, you kind of got to sit there and be like, well, why doesn't he think we can win? And if you can't figure that out, then I would agree that that's a problem. So,
Clearly, they don't understand that.
So that's where we're at. Yeah.